Kid Rock has never been one to shy away from controversy, but this time, the firestorm didn't come from politics, lyrics, or social media, it came from the stage itself. What was supposed to be another high-energy appearance at a Turning Point USA event quickly turned into a viral debate about authenticity, live performance, and whether one of rock's most outspoken figures was actually singing at all. The accusation? Lip-syncing. And if there's one thing Kid Rock has built his career on, it's the idea that he's real, raw, and unfiltered. So when those claims started circulating, the response was anything but quiet. During the performance, Kid Rock abruptly addressed the crowd, visibly frustrated and clearly aware of the whispers spreading both in the venue and online. His reaction wasn't polished. It wasn't rehearsed. It was emotional, defiant, and very on-brand for an artist who has always worn confrontation like armor. But this moment wasn't just about Kid Rock. It tapped into a much bigger conversation that's been simmering in the music industry for years, a debate over what live really means in modern performances, how much technology is too much, and whether fans are being sold an illusion instead of an experience. For decades, live music has been seen as the ultimate test of an artist's legitimacy. Studio magic can hide flaws, but the stage exposes everything. Missed notes, shaky vocals, exhaustion, those are the risks artists take when they step in front of a crowd with nothing but a microphone and a band. That's why accusations of lip-syncing hit especially hard. They don't just question a single performance. They challenge an artist's credibility. And for someone like Kid Rock, whose brand has always leaned heavily on toughness, stamina, and authenticity, that challenge cuts deep. Kid Rock didn't rise to fame by being subtle. From the start, his career has been built on blending genres that weren't supposed to mix rock, country, hip-hop into a sound that felt chaotic but intentional. His music wasn't just something you listened to, it was something you experienced. That same philosophy carried over into his live shows. Fans came to expect sweat-soaked performances, shouting, crowd interaction, and a sense that anything could happen at any moment. His concerts weren't about perfection. They were about energy, which is exactly why the lip-syncing accusation struck such a nerve. In today's music landscape, backing tracks are everywhere. Even artists who sing live often rely on pre-recorded vocals to fill in harmonies, reinforce choruses, or cover moments when movement makes singing difficult. Stadium shows, in particular, have become massive productions where consistency is prioritized over spontaneity. But there's a line, at least in the minds of fans. Using technology as support is one thing. Letting it replace the performance entirely is another. That's where the debate gets messy. Because unless an artist outright admits to lip-syncing, it's often difficult to prove. Microphone issues, sound delays, and camera angles can all create the illusion that something isn't live when it actually is. At the same time, history has shown that some performers absolutely do rely more on tracks than they let on. So when videos from the Turning Point USA show began circulating, viewers immediately started analyzing every detail. Lip movements, breathing patterns, vocal consistency, pauses that didn't seem to match the sound. To some, it looked suspicious. To others, it looked like a veteran performer dealing with technical limitations while still delivering a show. Kid Rock, however, wasn't interested in letting the internet decide. Mid-performance, he addressed the accusations head-on. His tone was sharp. His words were direct. He made it clear that he took the claims personally and saw them as an insult not just to his abilities, but to his work ethic. That reaction alone fueled the controversy even further. Supporters praised him for standing his ground and refusing to let rumors slide. Critics argued that the defensiveness only raised more questions. And somewhere in between were fans who simply wanted clarity. The audience inside the venue reflected that divide. Some cheered loudly, clearly backing the artist they came to see. Others watched more cautiously, unsure whether the moment was genuine outrage or a carefully timed response to bad press. What made the situation even more complex was the setting itself. Turning Point USA is not a neutral backdrop. The organization is known for its strong political identity, and Kid Rock's appearance there was already going to draw attention. That meant the performance wasn't just being judged as entertainment, it was being filtered through cultural and ideological lenses. For critics of Kid Rock, the lip-syncing allegations became another point of attack. For supporters, they felt like yet another example of unfair scrutiny directed at an artist who refuses to conform. Lost in all of that noise was a simple question: does it actually matter? For some fans, the answer is absolutely yes. Live music is sacred to them. They pay for tickets expecting an unfiltered connection with the artist. They want to hear imperfections, struggle, breathlessness, proof that what's happening in front of them exists only in that moment. For others, the experience matters more than the mechanics. If the show feels powerful, if the energy is there, if the crowd leaves satisfied, then how much does it matter whether every note was sung live? This divide isn't new, but it's becoming more visible as technology advances. Auto-tune, backing vocals, and digital enhancements have blurred the line between performance and production. Artists are expected to sound flawless while also dancing, engaging the crowd, and maintaining stamina for hours. That expectation is often unrealistic. Yet artists who built their reputation on grit and rawness don't get much grace when technology enters the conversation. Kid Rock falls squarely into that category. Throughout his career, he's positioned himself as the opposite of manufactured pop. His image is rooted in rebellion, independence, and doing things his own way. That image has earned him fierce loyalty and equally fierce criticism. So when authenticity is questioned, it's not just about vocals. It's about identity. The accusations also reopen discussions about how aging affects performers. Maintaining vocal power and endurance over decades is no small feat. Some artists adapt by adjusting keys, shortening sets, or leaning more on backing tracks. Others push through, sometimes at the cost of vocal health. Neither approach is perfect, but fans don't always want to acknowledge that reality. They want the version of the artist they fell in love with years ago, frozen in time. Kid Rock's response, emotional as it was, may have been less about the specific claim and more about that broader pressure, the expectation that he remain unchanged, unstoppable, and immune to time. Whether the allegations were fair or not, they struck at the heart of what he represents. And that's why this moment resonated far beyond a single performance. It became a snapshot of an industry in transition, where technology and tradition are constantly colliding, and where artists are judged not just on their art, but on how closely they match the myths built around them. The lip-syncing debate isn't going away. As long as live shows rely on increasingly complex production, questions about authenticity will keep surfacing. And artists like Kid Rock, who stake their legacy on being real, will continue to face the harshest scrutiny. In the end, his Turning Point USA appearance may be remembered less for the songs performed and more for the conversation it reignited. A conversation about honesty, performance, and what fans truly expect when the lights go down and the music starts. Whether you see Kid Rock's response as justified outrage or unnecessary defensiveness likely depends on how you define live music in the first place. And that debate, it's far from settled.